Warning! This entire video contains spoilers for the film Logan. If you have not seen this film, I would ask that you please turn back now, go see the film, and then come back for this review. You have been warned. Greetings and salutations, world. I am the Bearded Con Man, and welcome to my spoiler edition review of Logan. Wow, I mean, damn. I'm sorry for the kids out there, but that movie was perfect. Not a lot of times have I gone to a film and it's left me so awestruck by the time the credits rolled as that movie did. I can't even begin to describe to you the wave of emotions that I felt when that movie ended and it just went to black and it said Logan. And I realized it was over. I realized that this fantastic film was over. I realized that Wolverine, as we knew him, was over. And I realized that Hugh Jackman's career of 17 years as Wolverine was over as well. It was all these things at once, and it was everything I wanted it to be and more. So let's talk particulars from the top. So our story begins roughly 5 years after the end of Days of Future Past, in the future that Logan woke up in once he successfully changed the past when he went back. That wonderful dream sequence where everyone is alive again. The Xavier Institute has, child mutant students running through the halls. Jean Grey, Scott Summers are alive. Beast is a teacher. Everyone is back, and it's everything that Logan wanted it to be and more. Unfortunately, for our hero, or anti-hero I should say, that's not how the story ends. The year is 2029, so again, like I said, roughly 4 to 5 years after the end future sequence of Days of Future Past. And it's not what we expected to find Logan after that particular future has come to pass. He wakes up in the back of a limousine, clearly just wearied and has scars, and he just looks battered. He is actually a limousine driver, a chauffeur, which is really interesting place to find this character. And in a blink and miss moment, you realize that Logan actually does fully remember his past, because as it clearly says on the heads-up display for his driver information, James Howlett, which was a really nice touch. And if you're not familiar with Wolverine and Logan in the comics, his real name is James Logan Howlett. So it was really cool just to see that little hint that Logan remembers his past. And he's using that name, clearly leaving behind Logan and Wolverine at this point when we catch up to him in this particular part of the story. So Logan is in a bad way. He is now a chauffeur. He's clearly saving up money for something, but he's also very sick. You can tell that he is suffering from something more than just his healing factor not working so well anymore. And it's really heartbreaking to see. And it comes to find out that he is saving up money to get a boat for him and Charles to escape. Because when we catch up with Charles, we find out that his future is just as dark and as bleak, if not darker and bleaker, than Logan's. Charles is suffering from a degenerative brain disease, which is so heartbreaking to see the world's greatest mind reduced to the point that we find him in when we catch up to him in this movie. And we get one of the best lines, which again, people, this is a movie that tugs on your heartstrings start to finish. Charles is acting crazy, saying all these crazy things, and Logan pretty much tells him, "Cut the crap, Charles, you know who I am." To which Charles stops and says, "Of course I know who you are. It's just sometimes I don't recognize you." It's so sad. So clearly, everything that Logan is doing, he's doing for Charles. The medicine, getting the boat. Clearly, something is going on with Charles, and something terrible happened to which Logan and Charles are trying to escape by getting on this boat and living out the rest of their days. And it's kind of hinted at because Charles says, Logan, what did you do? Why are we here? Charles doesn't even know what's going on because Logan is keeping him drugged up and is hiding something from him. Once we realize that the medicine isn't for Logan, it's for Charles to help with his seizures. And on top of that, we learn that Logan is trying to get Charles away from the world because he has become a danger. And we also find out that Charles inadvertently killed the X-Men, or at least several members, in an accident that happened a couple of years before our film starts. So in a weird twist, it wasn't Logan that killed the X-Men like it was in the comic book. It was Charles. And that is so heartbreaking. All the good that that man has done for mutant kind, and he ends up killing them through no fault of his own. Of course, he couldn't control it. But still, he kills the people that put his faith in him. And that is what Logan has been trying to hide from Charles by keeping him drugged. Because how heartbreaking would that be to learn that you killed the people that you love most? It's so sad. It is so sad. And unfortunately for our heroes, their ride off into the sunset isn't going to be that simple. Because Laura comes into the picture and they find themselves on the run trying to help this girl, who we find out is very much like Logan. She is not only a mutant, she is Logan's daughter, which if you're familiar with the comics, you know that she's X-23, and she has adamantium claws and an adamantium skeleton, Logan's healing factor, everything. And she also has foot claws. Yes, and those get used in the most epic, bloody, visceral way possible. So while they're on the run, Logan and Charles and Laura all get growth because they find family within each other. Charles is able to give his lifelong student slash son figure the lessons, final lessons that he needs, of living life, taking a moment. This is what life feels like. This is what it should be, and he still has time to feel it and experience it if he would allow it. Logan finding humility and taking care of Charles, as if a grown son takes care of his, old ailing father. And also finding, love and humility through his daughter as well, which he begrudgingly has. And we see Logan in this very vulnerable light when he has to marry Charles. And it is some of the absolute most compelling acting I have ever seen from Hugh Jackman. It was so heartbreaking. You felt it. You felt that pain that Logan was feeling burying his old and last friend. The best friend that he has had his entire 200 years of life is now gone, and he's left alone. And he buries him next to this water. It's a very beautiful, peaceful place. But all he can muster to say is that there's water. And that's all he can bring himself to say. It's just, oh man, it is so heartbreaking. And I will admit, I teared up. I did at that point. And Laura comes and holds his hand and tries to comfort him. And Logan, of course, won't have anything of it because he can't do emotions. He can't feel. He's been through too much. It's just so heartbreaking. And that final scene. So Laura takes Logan's hand and this is it. Wolverine is going to die right here. And he tells Laura, don't be what they made you. He's telling her to be better than what he was. Don't be the animal that they made you into. Be a better person than that. it's just, you realize that Logan has embraced this little girl and he wants to, you know, he says that I love you without saying it, you know. And he tells her when he looks at her after she says daddy to him. In that moment, you realize that Logan is the happiest that he may have been in his entire life. He looks at her and smiles and he says, so this is what it feels like. And then he dies. Man. So Laura buries her father, and she quotes the line from the end of Shane, which, if you've never seen Shane, it is an incredible film. Go watch it. It's an amazing Western film. And I love the parallels between that movie and this one. And she says the classic line from the end of the film. She recites that while she's crying, like as a eulogy to her father. You know, that there are no more guns now. You know, everything's going to be okay. And she was, you know, both talking to Logan and to herself. And in a brilliant final shot, the kids made a makeshift wooden cross for Logan's grave. Laura turns around, takes the cross, and tilts it onto its side so it becomes an X, signifying that this isn't just any grave. It is a grave for the legendary badass X-Man that was the Wolverine. We fade to black, and that's it. There's no end credit sequence. That's the end of Logan's tale. And it was perfect. In every way, shape, and form, that movie was everything I wanted it to be and more. It was the ultimate Wolverine film. I loved it so much. I mean, 10 out of 10 stars, people. And I can hear it in my voice. I have like this kind of calm quiet, and it's because I'm reflecting, because I'm still in awe over it. There isn't a lot of times where when I talk about something I'm truly excited about, do I get this tone in my voice? But man, there are so many waves of emotions to this film, because it was, you know, a goodbye to Wolverine. It was a goodbye to Charles Xavier. It was a goodbye to Hugh Jackman and Sir Patrick Stewart as those characters after all this time. It was just everything. You know, this movie ultimately is about family. It's about, you know, protecting those you love, taking time to enjoy life, feel it, you know, just taking even a moment to share it with those you care about. Just, there's so many layers, and it was, you know, it was beautiful. It was a dark, depressing, with a few glimmers of hope and humor, of course, but it was a perfect tale and a perfect way to end that character. Just flawless. So I loved everything about it. The action was incredible. It was brutal. We saw Wolverine impale dudes, and I know I didn't mention the entire part of Las Vegas, you know, where Charles has a seizure and everyone's frozen in time around them, and they're, you know, of course being affected by his psychic powers. And Logan's trying to get to Charles desperately to give him the sedative to help him. And then we get that scene where he's just slowly going through the hallway, using his claws to kind of climb forward. And those guys that are frozen in time with their guns all drawn on Charles, he just kills all of them. You think at first maybe he'll disarm them, but no, he just mercilessly kills everyone and impales them through the head in all these epic ways. Oh, it was so amazing. And it showed the brutalness that is the Wolverine. He doesn't put you down for the count. He puts you down for good. So you aren't a problem or a menace anymore. So good. Hugh Jackman was brilliant in this final role of Wolverine. I swear to you, it is his best role. It is his best role as Wolverine, as Logan. Just, it has so many depths. I would even venture to say that it is an Academy Award winning performance, because you just feel the weariness and the tired and the pain in every shot that he's in. you know, it's like second nature, of course, to Hugh Jackman at this point, but man, did he just kill it. He absolutely killed it. Same goes for Sir Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier. I mean, he was brilliant as well. You know, everything from being sick to pretending like he's crazy. Just, it was so well done. And Daphne Keane as Laura, aka X-23, she blew me away how good she was. I mean, wow. She had all these mix of emotions, you know, that gruff, short temper that she clearly gets from her father. You know, there's the sweetness to her, there's, you know, the sorrow, even when she's like, you know, crying as Logan's dying and when she says goodbye to him. It's just all of these things, just, she was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Logan was everything I wanted it to be and more. It was this character and story driven drama that transcends the comic book genre and is just this incredible movie start to finish. It has everything that you could ask for, both as, you know, a general moviegoer as well as a lifelong Wolverine fan like myself. I just was blown away, and I loved that there were things that even I didn't know were coming in this film. I had a feeling that they were going to kill off Wolverine in some way, you know, because of course, I mean, if there's any way to leave it open-ended, you know, where Logan lives at the end of the film, you know, it doesn't close the book all the way on that character. And it kind of leaves the door a little bit open for Hugh Jackman when he said that this was his final time in that role. But it was just, it was perfect. I mean, that is how you go out on top. I loved it so much. And I can't wait to see it again. It's crazy how long I've been thinking about this movie ever since I saw it on Thursday. It's left like all of these thoughts in my mind, and I keep going back through it in my head. It just was so good. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna cut it there. I hope you guys enjoyed my spoiler-filled review. Just, it was so awesome. What did you think of the film? Are you, you know, a lifelong Wolverine fan like myself? Are you a fan of Wolverine just through the movies and Hugh Jackman's incredible iconic role as that character? Or is this, you know, the first time you've seen any of the Wolverine films and you just saw this as a general moviegoer? Let me know in the comment section below what you guys thought of this film. I would love to get a conversation started. Tell me your favorite parts of the film. For me personally, I would have to say that the scene at the end with Logan, you know, one last time being at his prime, taking out all those dudes and fighting with X-23 was probably my favorite action sequence. If not that, the scene at the beginning where Logan is taking on all of those dudes and just jumps up in a berserker rage, even though he's kind of not, you know, fully in his prime anymore. It was so awesome. But anyway, again guys, let's get a conversation started. I really love this movie. It deserves every bit of praise that it's getting. And I applaud James Mangold and Hugh Jackman, Sir Patrick Stewart, Daphne Keane, everyone involved in this film. Thank you for the ultimate one last time. I will be eternally grateful to your dedication to these characters and to creating this ultimate final story. Thank you so much. And that's gonna do it, guys. Let's get a conversation started in the comment section below. And until then, remember, B.E.A.R.D. Be exceptional and rad, dudes. I am the Bearded Con Man. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.